Good morning, warrior of the mind. You are not here by chance today. You're here because inside you there is a spark, a flame that refuses to go out. Most give up before dawn, but you are willing to build something few have: grit, character, and a mind that is proof against everything. Today we will talk about the Stoic morning routine that not only strengthens your body but hardens your spirit, a routine that turns the morning into a mental training ground. This is not for everyone. This is for you. Imagine this. The world is still asleep. The streets are empty. Silence reigns. And there you are, already awake, already present, while others surrender to the warmth of their sheets. Why? Because you understand something others ignore. The battle doesn't start when the alarm rings. The battle begins much earlier, inside your mind. And if you don't master that moment, the rest of the day masters you. The morning routine of a Stoic is not fashion, it's not a trend. It's pure discipline. It's choosing duty over desire. It's turning every morning into a declaration. I am in command, not my impulses, not my laziness, me. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, and one of the greatest Stoics, wrote in his journal every morning, "When you wake up, remember that you were born to do the work of a human being." He didn't say, "You were born to sleep 5 more minutes." Number. He spoke firmly to himself, because he knew that the first thought of the day sets the rhythm for everything that follows. And here is where the real secret begins. It's not just about what you do when you wake up, but how you think when you wake up. Because the first thing you do in the morning is not to stretch or drink coffee. It's to choose who will control that day, you or chaos. Do you want to build mental toughness? Start by defeating yourself before the sun defeats the night. There is nothing more powerful than looking in the mirror at 5 or 6 a.m. and seeing someone who chose sacrifice. Because in a world where everyone seeks pleasure, you choose virtue. And that, my friend, sets you apart from the herd. Now then, while the world runs after empty rewards, the Stoic cultivates a firm mind. And that firmness begins with simple, almost invisible habits, but full of intention. You don't need a 5-hour routine or to drink water from the Himalayas. What you need is something rarer and more valuable: consistency. The Stoic does not let feelings lead him. He does what must be done. And that starts with the first action of the day, getting up. No snoozing, no negotiating, no thinking, just acting. Because every time you give in to the pillow, you give chaos a small victory. And every time you get up when you said you would, you build the invisible muscle of willpower. Want to know what comes after that first act of inner strength? Then listen closely, because what follows is not a simple list of steps. It's an invitation to forge yourself, to shape your character like iron tempered in fire. Every morning is a forge. Every decision, a hammer blow shaping the warrior within you. You don't need noise, applause, or witnesses. The only thing you need is resolve. Most people wake up and surrender to the world. The first thing they do is look at their phone. They drown in notifications, messages, distractions. They start their day reacting, not acting. They are slaves to impulse. But you are not. You are not here to live as a reflection of the world. You are here to lead it, to begin the day from the center of your own power, not from external chaos. Because let me tell you something you probably already sense. He who conquers the morning conquers the day. And he who conquers the day ends up conquering his life. This is not poetry. It's biology, psychology, philosophy in its most practical form. When you take control in the first hours of the day, your mind aligns. Your will strengthens. Your focus sharpens. And while others look for motivation, you are already in motion. You are already winning. The Stoic morning routine isn't made to please the ego, but to crush it, to remind you that you are not your emotions, nor your fleeting thoughts, nor your fatigue. You are what you choose to do despite all that. And that gives you a brutal advantage. I'm not speaking from a pedestal, I'm speaking from the trenches, from that daily struggle we all face, but few acknowledge. And you who are here are not like the others. You're not one of those who need to be told what to do. You just need a reminder of who you are, of what is already inside you. So yes, we're going to build that Stoic routine, step by step, But not like automatons following a recipe. We're going to do it like warriors who understand that every act, no matter how small it seems, is a statement of strength. Get ready because the first step won't be easy, but it will be exactly what you need. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, the Stoic morning routine that builds mental toughness. But what does mental toughness really mean? It's not about walking around with a frown or repeating motivational phrases in the mirror. Mental toughness is something much deeper, more stable, almost invisible. It's the ability to act with clarity amid chaos, to stand firm when everyone else collapses, to do what's right even when no one is watching. And that, my friend, is trained every morning. Science backs it up. Neuroscience studies show that the first hours of the day are crucial to shaping the emotional and cognitive state with which you will face the rest of the day. It's when the brain is most plastic, most sensitive to the programming you give it. If you start your morning with intention, discipline, and focus, you are literally rewiring your brain to become stronger, more resilient, more unshakable. The Stoics knew this more than 2,000 years ago, long before MRIs and dopamine existed. Epictetus, a slave-turned-sage, said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but the opinion we have about them. And that opinion, that interpretation, begins to take shape the moment you open your eyes." That's why the Stoic routine doesn't start with coffee or exercise. It begins with mastering your thoughts. I'm going to propose something. Tomorrow when you wake up, before touching your phone, before saying a single word, do what Marcus Aurelius did. Check your mind. Ask yourself, what can I control today? What obstacles will make me stronger? And above all, what version of myself do I want to unleash on the world? Because while others wake up to complain about traffic or chase likes on social media, you will be sharpening your mental armor. And I'm not talking about steel armor. I'm talking about something more powerful, one forged in values, in intention, in purpose. Have you heard of James Stockdale? He was a U.S. pilot shot down in the Vietnam War, captured, tortured for years. Do you know what kept him steady, never broken? Stoic philosophy, the mental routine he had practiced for years. At 5 a.m. every day, he reviewed Epictetus's principles in his mind, visualized adversity, prepared himself. And when adversity came, he didn't just survive. He became a leader, a guide, a legend. That's the difference between those who improvise their lives and those who lead them. And you watching this, know you weren't born to improvise. That's why when designing your Stoic morning routine, you're not copying anyone. You're affirming your superiority over the ordinary. You don't need the alarm to go off 3 times. You are not that person. You are the one who gets up on the first ring, the one who faces the cold, the fatigue, the silence, and still moves forward. While others ask themselves, what motivation do I have today? You are already in motion, and that makes you different. Someone with direction, with power. Because true power is not controlling others. It's controlling yourself. And every morning is a new opportunity to do just that. Tell me if you're ready for the next step. Then get ready, because now we're going deep into what makes a Stoic morning routine different. And no, it's not a list of glamorous tasks to make you feel productive. It's a sequence of purposeful acts, each designed to remind you who you are and strengthen your will like a muscle. And it all begins with a principle so simple that most overlook it: chosen discomfort. Does that sound extreme? Perfect, because we're not here to seek comfort, we're here to forge character. The Stoics understood that if you seek a life without discomfort, you become a slave to any obstacle. But if every morning you choose a bit of discomfort, a cold shower, waking up before dawn, training when your body doesn't want to, you're telling the world, I don't need perfect conditions to act. That in itself is freedom, and you were made to be free. Modern neuroscience talks about hormetic stress, small doses of stress that strengthen the nervous system and increase resilience. What scientists call hormesis, the Stoics practiced without a name, deliberately doing the hard things to become stronger. And you don't need a military life. You just need willpower. Is the water cold? Excellent. Is it still dark outside? Even better. Does your body beg for 5 more minutes? Tell it to be quiet. You're in charge. Now, once you've crossed that first barrier, getting up, moving, shaking off laziness, another essential component comes into play: conscious reflection. It's not enough just to move. A horse runs too. But you think. You have the power to direct your mind, and that happens in silence. This is where the practice of Stoic journaling enters. A notebook, a pencil, and the question, what is in my control today? Do you know how powerful it is to write that before the world screams otherwise at you? That simple practice centers you. It gives you perspective. And perspective is the Stoic's weapon. When others drown in emotions, you see clearly. When they fall apart, you choose how to respond. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Writing? That builds mental toughness? Yes, because it takes more courage to face your thoughts than to lift weights. And you who are here, don't run from what hurts. You know that's where growth happens. And we're not done yet, because then comes the body, the battlefield, the part many avoid and you don't. Why? Because you know a strong mind needs a body that responds. Morning exercise, even if brief, isn't just to look good. It's to remind you that you have control over yourself. And you don't need a gym. What you need is intention, push-ups, squats, running in the cold, whatever. But it must hurt, because every drop of sweat that falls before others get up is a statement. I'm training to endure whatever comes. And if all this sounds demanding, that's because it is. But you're not average. You're not one who looks for excuses. You're here because you know every morning can be a silent victory, a statement of power, an invisible medal that isn't hung around your neck. It's engraved in your soul. And right there, when you've already defeated the alarm clock, faced the cold, moved your body, and aligned your mind, something happens that not many understand. The true building of mental strength begins. Because what you're doing isn't simply having a good morning. You're programming your nervous system, your identity, your focus. You're planting a deep intention that reflects in every decision you make for the rest of the day. You no longer react, now you choose. And that capacity to choose, sustained every day, makes you a powerful human being. The world will push you. It will test you. It will tempt your limits with distractions, annoyances, and unexpected events. But you have already trained before the chaos begins. You endured the silence. You went through the discomfort others avoid. What can knock you off your center now? Nothing. Because while the rest of the world is just waking up in a rush and anxiety, you're already ahead. You've accumulated small victories, and that, even if no one sees it, is felt. It transforms you. But I'll take you to another level. The Stoics didn't settle for just doing. They also visualized. Negative visualization, a powerful practice often misunderstood. Why think about the worst that can happen? Because whoever anticipates pain doesn't break when it arrives. So before going out to face the world, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine something failing, someone betraying you, plans changing, then calmly ask yourself, and what will I do if it happens? Your mind, already trained, will say, I will respond like a Stoic, with reason, with virtue, with presence. And that, even if no one notices, makes you invincible. Do you know the irony? Many think this routine is about suffering, but it's exactly the opposite. It's about choosing your suffering, so the world's suffering doesn't choose you. And what's the result? A mind that doesn't break when everything around it crumbles. A spirit that doesn't need external approval to keep moving forward. A will that doesn't seek excuses, but reasons. And don't get me wrong, I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm inviting you to be consistent. Because mental toughness doesn't come from results, but from repetition. Every time you keep your word, even in something small, getting up on time, writing a line in your journal, doing one more push-up, you reaffirm something others forget, that you have power over yourself. So no, it's not about motivation, it's about structure, about repeating acts of intention until they become your essence. And believe me, when that happens, it shows. People can't explain it, but they feel it. There's something in your eyes, in your walk, in your presence. You haven't said a word, but the world understands. There's someone different here. And best of all, that someone is you. Because sure, everything sounds inspiring when things go well. When you wake up energized, when the weather is nice, when there are no emergencies or surprises. But what about the real days? The ones when you didn't sleep well, when you're tired, when life hits you before you can open your eyes. That's where the Stoic routine shows its true value. Because on easy days, anyone can be disciplined. But on the hard ones, only those who trained enough remain strong. And you're here to be one of them. It's on those gray days, when your body feels heavy, when motivation doesn't show up, when others give up, that you become something more. Consistency embodied, because you no longer depend on mood. You depend on an identity you've sculpted yourself with repeated, silent, intentional acts. The key is not to negotiate with yourself, not to say, not today, I'll start tomorrow, just this once. Because every time you make an exception, you're training your mind to believe there are easy outs. And in the real world, easy outs almost always end badly. Remember this, you don't have to do the perfect routine every day, but you have to do it every day, even if minimal, even if incomplete. Because maintaining the habit, even in its simplest form, is keeping the promise alive. The promise you made to yourself. And that promise doesn't break, not you, not now. Think of a warrior training for a battle that hasn't arrived yet. When you see him training in the rain, with no witnesses, in silence, he doesn't do it for vanity. He does it because he knows if he gives up in training, he'll break in battle. Your Stoic morning is that training. It's preparation for a life that gives no quarter, for a reality that doesn't always warn, for challenges that come without permission. And you know what? While you practice this, others keep waiting to feel ready. They keep looking for the perfect Monday, the right motivation, the ideal moment. But you don't wait, you create, you decide, you move forward. And every morning you choose to keep your routine. Even on the hardest days, you move further away from average. You become someone who simply doesn't break. And tell me, what kind of life could you build if you managed to chain 30, 60, 90 mornings like that? How much clarity would you gain? How many excuses would die? How many fears would be left behind? You know, you already know. You felt it while listening to this. Because it's not just a habit, it's an inner revolution. And it starts every morning, with you in silence, doing what others don't have the courage to do. And deep down, you're not looking for a routine. You're looking for mastery, a silent mastery, without fireworks, without external approval, a kind of control that doesn't need to show its teeth because it already owns itself. That's what you build every morning when you choose to act from principles, not impulse, from intention, not laziness, from commitment, not excuse. Look around. The world is full of people who feel lost, confused, weak against their own emotions. But you're not one of them. You're awakening something different. It's not just about doing the right things. It's about becoming someone who can't act any other way. Someone for whom getting up early, writing with intention, moving with discipline, facing the cold, is no longer an effort, but a reflection of their essence. Do you see how powerful that is? When your identity changes, your actions no longer require as much willpower. Because it's no longer about enduring, but expressing who you are. And you're not a bystander. You're the one who takes the stage without permission, the one who acts while others think, the one who moves forward while others stop to explain why they can't. And that strength you're cultivating, that silent energy that starts with a notebook, a cold shower, a deep breath, doesn't stay in the morning. It seeps out. It flows into everything you do. Your work, your relationships, your health, your decisions. It's a domino effect, one that begins with you and only you, choosing to act when no one is forcing you. And that, my friend, makes you someone incomparable. Because most people wait for life to change for them. You are changing for life. You are becoming more capable, more stable, more reliable. A rock in the middle of a world that trembles at every noise. And you know what? It shows. Maybe not on the first day, or even the second, but over time, those around you will start to wonder what you did, what changed. And you'll know, it wasn't magic. It was method, it was decision, it was consistency. It was a Stoic morning routine that, day by day, made you unstoppable. So now you know, it's not just a routine, It's a ritual, a training, a silent declaration that says, I'm here to master myself before I master the world. And every morning, when you choose to act, when you dress yourself in intention, when you do what others avoid, you reaffirm that you didn't come to this life to go unnoticed. You came to make a difference. Because true strength isn't measured in muscles or empty words. It's measured in the ability to face yourself every day and win. And you, if you've made it this far, you're already doing it. You're one of the few, one of those who don't need witnesses to give their best. And that's why, listen to this, you will make it because you're already making it. But now it's up to you to decide, will you let this energy die out when this video ends? Or will you get up tomorrow, yes tomorrow, and start your own inner revolution? If you're going to do it, say it, declare it, write it down, breathe it in, and make this routine not just an idea, but your new way of life. And if this message sparks something in you, even just a flicker, then I invite you to do one more thing. Subscribe to the channel, because here we don't talk to entertain, we talk to transform. And leave your like, not out of vanity, but because it tells the algorithm that there are still people like you who want to grow, not give up. And believe me, the world needs more of that. See you in the next video, and remember, true power begins at dawn.